What's up guys, it's your man Azza here. How are we all doing today? Coming up in this video, me and Tracy are going to try and predict the Premier League table. Now I appreciate that when this video goes up, the transfer market's closed and the first games have already been played, depending on what day I upload the video. So pretty much every team's already played their first game of the new season. Now Tracy's not great at football knowledge and she was a bit worried I was going to make her look stupid. But she does do quite well for predictions. I think she gets a few that I think could be potentially correct come May. I hope you enjoy it. I think Tracy enjoyed filming it with me. I know I enjoyed filming it with her. There's a couple of funny bits in there. Spurs fans, you're going to be furious, and also Brian fans, you're going to be furious because I may have missed you out.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg.
And Cardiff fans as well. But there we go. That's just me. I forget, or maybe I deliberately didn't go through your teams because why would I? Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Are you ready? Sure. What's up, guys? It's your man Azza. How are we all doing today? And I'm joined by this one. Look at Tracy is here. My fiance is here.
Hello.
What we're doing today is the Premier League season, as of recording this video, is 1.5 hours away from kicking off. Can't wait, another exciting season. And what I'm going to be doing is thinking of and predicting where I think teams will finish based on what they've done in the pre-season, what they did last season, and what they could possibly do this season. And you're going to guess as well, where you think they're going to come.
I have no clue about football.
She has no idea about football. She hates the fact that I support any football team because Tracy doesn't like football. We're going to go through each team alphabetically and I'll choose where I think they're going to finish and then Tracy will do the same, and then probably in a year's time or so we'll come back and we'll see where...
I'd just like to point out at this point that I have a massive nose.
So, the first one is Arsenal. Now, a lot of changes happened at Arsenal pre-season. Wenger's gone, so that's the end of an era right there. And they brought in Unai Emery. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not good with pronouncing names. And they've also brought in a couple of players. So for me, given how Arsenal have performed in current years and considering how they are shaping up to be with a few signings that they've made, I'm going to say they're going to finish in 4th, I think. I think they'll just scrape in the Champions League. So, Trace, Arsenal, big football club. You've heard of Arsenal, yeah? Other than when I've just said it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's good. So where do you think they'll finish? They finished, I believe, 6th last season.
5th.
You think they'll finish 5th?
Yeah.
If you keep going one below me or one higher, because that's gonna...
That feels like a number that...
Do you know how many teams there are in the league?
I told you, I don't know.
But there you go, Arsenal fans. In fact, I might let you go first, because then you won't use my knowledge to think of... There's cats in the room. There is actually cats in the room.
Don't worry. Just listen to that now.
I can edit this out, it's fine. Next up, Bournemouth. I do believe Bournemouth come next up, but that could be wrong. So for me, actually I'm going to let you go first.
What's it out of? What's the last
20. So you got to bear in mind, so 20th, 19th and 18th is relegation. Okay, anything up to about 8 is okay. And then anything above that is really, really good. Bearing in mind Bournemouth are quite a small football team.
15th.
15th, okay, not bad. This thing, bearing in mind there's potential people might be watching this who are Bournemouth fans. If you are, give a shout out, I like Bournemouth. So a 15th place finish for Bournemouth. They've got a pretty decent squad. They've let a few players go out on loan, but I think they'll be a-okay. The players they've brought in suit their style of football. So I'm going to go with 13th place. So next up on the list is Burnley Football Club. So Burnley are in the Europa League. You know what you're going to get from Burnley. Good defensively minded team, great manager in Sean Dyche, could be future England manager. So for me, I think Burnley are going to be pretty safe. I'm going to have a stab at saying Burnley, if they keep getting through in the Europa League, it could hamper their Premier League prospects. So I'm going to say they're going to finish 11th. How about you? Any ideas? Brain of yours. Okay, we're going to go 13th, that's fine. I hope we don't get crisscrossed with who we think is going to finish where. Keep in mind where you think they might finish. Next up is Chelsea. Chelsea, bit of a weird off season. Off season? I'm not American. What the fuck? I am. I'm wearing my Orlando City shirt. New manager. A few new players have come in. Lost Courtois on the last day of the transfer period, but I think they'll do very, very well again. I think, you know, changing of managers all the time is causing imbalance, but I think they've got a good manager who, at clubs like Napoli, would have probably won the Italian Serie A had Juve not been doing their thing. So I think for me, Chelsea are going to finish in 5th. I don't think they'll quite get Champions League, but I think it'll be a solid season for them, and I think the year after they can push on. Jesus Christ!
I don't know what I'm talking about.
If they did finish 7th, they'd be booming. They would be. I think Abramovich would just like commit suicide. Okay, next team. So the next team is my team. Yay! Do you know who I support?
Yeah.
What are they called? Yay! You remember the team? I'm either going to love you, I'm going to throw you off the couch. So, Palace, last season, we set records, not in good ways, you know what I'm talking about. And then Roy came in and did his magic, worked his magic, so we ended up finishing in a respectable position. So I think Roy is gonna give us a decent season, and I think we're gonna finish 10th. Nice mid-table. What do you think? I went first. I said you were going to go first. I don't know why. Oh well. Come on then. This is the big one. This is the big one. I know there are Palace fans who watch this. This is the big one.
6th place?
Well, boys, we've got the league tour. Okay then. Fine. 6th place. 6th place is that. Fair enough. I can respect that. So next up is Everton. Everton. Big fat Sam in charge. No longer in charge. Marco Silva's now over there. It was a bit of an up and down season last year for Everton, so I think they'll probably push on, have a decent season. So I'm going to say they're going to finish 9th. I keep going first. Why am I going first? I said I'd put you under the pressure. I don't know why I said.
What's the team?
Bruh. Everton. Everton. They like to think they're a big club. They're not a big club.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Team?
Okay. I'm not entirely sure you said 13th or not. No, that's fine. Okay, we'll go with that. We're not entirely sure. Next up is Fulham. Fulham back in the Premier League after a few years of absence. Won that dramatic Championship playoff final against Aston Villa 1-0 at Wembley. And they have been spending a hell of a lot of cash. I mean, a hell of a lot of cash, bringing in new players, and we'll see how that gets on. They're actually playing Palace on the first day of the season, which has probably already happened, depending on when I get this video out. So I think Fulham, decent fan base, decent owners, decent manager. I don't think they'll be doing anything special, but I think, you know, they could have a solid season. I don't think they'll be fretted for relegation too much. So you're going to go first. New team, promoted back. Where do you think you're going to finish?
11th? Have I said that
You've
yet?
already said 11th. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you've already said 11th. 10th, okay, fine. 10th. 10th for Fulham. 10th for Fulham. I'm going to say 14th. I think they'll be relatively comfortable. They won't have that many problems, but I think they'll finish. I just realised I've forgotten the team as well. We missed out Cardiff. Oh, rip Cardiff City. They're Welsh, so they don't technically count, so we're not going to bother with them. Anyway, moving on. Which brings us to Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield, who started off so well last season, actually beat Palace 3-0 opening day of the season, but we got them back. They were rocking and rolling at one point. I think they were second at one point in the league, very early days of the season. Then it all went hideously wrong, performing some kind of Blackpool-esque Ian Holloway shit going on. And they just about survived with a couple of games left, drawing with Chelsea 1-1, which pretty much kept them up. So I think it's going to be another year of struggle for Huddersfield. I know they've added to the squad, and I do love the club. It's, you know, great atmosphere at the ground. If it's still called the Gow Farm, I don't know. But for me, I think they're going to really struggle, and I can't see them staying up this year. I think it's going to be second year nightmares. So I'm going to say they're going to finish 19th. How about you? Up from Huddersfield. You've never been that far north, have you? Yes, you have.
But where
Huddersfield.
Huddersfield is.
Huddersfield is like Yorkshire. Huddersfield. You don't say Huddersfield. The H doesn't exist.
Where is Yorkshire?
Yeah.
Whereabouts is
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Another town closest? Anyone? Near
No.
Blackpool? Blackpool? No?
No, it's not near
That's the
Blackpool.
furthest I've been.
Okay, then fine.
Anyway, back to the point. 18.
18.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in one place above me. Yeah? Leicester City. Leicester City once won the league not too long ago, performed miracles to win the Premier League under Claudio Ranieri, and then, you know, Claude Puel done a good job, got them into 9th I think it was, so I think they'll be looking for similar. They've lost Mahrez, but then again, was he really such a big loss, to be honest? I think they're going to finish 7th this year. How about
I'll
you?
say third.
So where?
Third.
Fuck me! Fuck!
I should
Leicester
forget what numbers
fans.
I've said, but
Leicester
yeah.
fans are like that. I'll tell you what we'll do. If we name any position in which we've already done, we'll just put that team like below or just above, because it's basically the same thing. I'll sort out a table and I'll put it at the end of the video. My table contrasting with Tracy's table. Next up is Liverpool. For Liverpool, this year's our year. Come on, you wee bastards. I'm wearing my Doctor Who. Shit, can you see that? Oh, I can't.
You need to start.
I'm gonna start. Look at that. Bit of leg, boys. Bit of leg, lads. Can you see it? Loving it. Great combo. Did you buy these for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. We could possibly win it this year, because they always say this year's their year, and they always end up having their dreams dashed. Big spenders, big spending. Of course, they got Mo Salah as well. I think it's going to be a great season for Liverpool. I don't think they'll have enough in the tank to win it, but I think they're going to do very well, and I'm going to say 2nd place.
Have I said 4? I think I said 4.
I think you have said 4th. Smoke come out of your ears, right?
I said 17.
2nd.
Yeah.
You're gonna go 2nd. Okay, that's fair enough. You can say that. That's fine. So that brings us on to the next club, and that is Manchester City, the team that won the league last season in emphatic style. 100 points, hundreds of goals, not literally, and a very healthy goal difference. And they've added to the squad. Not a lot of players have come in, but 1 or 2 names who will be able to add some depth into their squad, and they've kept it together as well. Of course, they got Guardiola as well, big name manager, nice shiny bald head he's got going on as well. I can't see them not winning it again. I think they're going to defend their title, and I think they could possibly win at least another trophy, whether that be domestic or the Champions League. Who knows? But Man City for me are gonna take the cake again. Sorry, United fans, but that's your shit these days. So what can we say?
I've always said it would close ones. You think it can win?
Yeah.
I'll go 2nd.
Just copy him.
First place.
First place. Fine then. First place. That brings us to their neighbours, Manchester United. Did you know there were 2 Manchester teams? No? Okay, then that's fine. So Manchester United haven't done a lot.
Get 2nd team.
I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
well, how many teams are in London? There's a lot of teams in London. Yeah, there's a lot. But I think I don't know where United are at the moment. They haven't got a great squad. With Mourinho, who is always really just like this, you know, my team is just not playing very well. What can I say? He doesn't sound like that, but that was my Mourinho impression. He's always depressed. What the fuck? You don't want to like inject some. You want to inject some like adrenaline or Viagra into him? Yeah, not Viagra. What am I saying?
Yeah, I don't figure that.
Apparently this content is way too inappropriate, so let's move on.
I think, Matt, you know, United might not fare brilliantly. I mean, I know I said Chelsea finished 5th, Arsenal 4th, so I'm going to say 3rd. And I've just angered every single Spurs fan on the planet now. I know I have. So there we go. What about United?
Well, I'm
for you?
good. It's like I think I went out of all the top ones.
I think
so
you have. You've used your top 4.
I think I have to say like
I think you haven't had.
14th. Or I said that. Because I haven't got any other higher ones.
You haven't said 6th yet.
Shall I have?
You've said 5th. I don't think you've said 6th or 7th.
I'd say 6th if I haven't said it.
Okay then.
I want to say higher one.
If you've already said 6th, then we'll slot United in the next available position.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
The one
fine.
I said first.
Like I was
Just because I haven't got any left.
Like I was slotting it into Marie. Next up brings us to Newcastle United, the Geordies. Apparently, Mike Ashley's just bought House of Fraser, so he's been spending the transfer money that they've got from selling players on useless retail space. Basically what his whole company is. Rafa Benitez is very happy, nor are the fans, but I think in typical Rafa style, he'll make them hard to beat. That fan base up at St James's Park, they sell out every single week, which is fantastic. And I think they'll have a very, very good season. I can see them finishing possibly top half. I'm going to play it conservative and probably say 12th. Anywhere in that mid-table, I think. I'm going to say 12th for Newcastle, but Newcastle. I think you've already said 15.
16?
I don't think you have. There you go, you can have 16. 16 worrying times for Newcastle fans if that comes true.
I think we should have written down.
We probably should have written them down. Next up on the list, I do believe it should be Southampton Football Club. Southampton literally came to within a whisker of getting relegated last season. They just about held on at the expense of Stoke City with Palace sent down in the last season.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Why would you be? It's a Premier League prediction. Back together. So I'm going to say 13th for Southampton. I don't think there'll be much relegation problems this year. 17th for Southampton. There we go. And if not, if we're getting ourselves crisscrossed over, then I do apologise. But like I said, I'll put a table together roughly where we think all the teams will finish in the end. Tottenham Hotspur. For some reason, I have a great American fan base. Fuck knows why. So as you guys already know, I've used my top 5, top 4 already. So that's bad news for Spurs. So for me, for that reason, I don't think Harry Kane's going to carry them all season. And for me, Spurs are going to finish in 6th place. Rip Spurs. And your toilet bowl of a fucking stadium. Next for you.
I've only got that one.
Yeah, you have. See your football knowledge.
19?
Oh dear, Spurs are going to get relegated.
I haven't got any.
Oh no, what have we done?
Oh, they're literally going to hunt me down and kill me.
No, what have we done? What have we done? Final few clubs now. If we do miss any out, like we did with Cardiff, I do apologise if you lose all those clubs. But we will slot them all into a nice little table for you all. So next up, I do believe is Watford. For me, Watford could really struggle this season. I don't know why. There's just something about Watford that I don't feel like they're strong enough to stay up. So for me, unfortunately, Watford are going to be finishing in a very disappointing 19th position.
I say 20.
Oh dear, Watford. Hi, no, you're upsetting people from North London today. What is wrong with you? Jeez Louise. That brings us on to West Ham. West Ham have been a very, very busy club throughout the whole of the summer. New manager, Manuel Pellegrini, multiple players being brought in, and because they've got a very, very experienced manager, probably the most experienced manager actually in the league, he's of course won the Premier League before with Man City. And for that reason, with the players that they've signed, finally spending money now, I think West Ham are going to do very, very well and finish 7th this season.
I think I'm going to say 12, so I'll be 14.
Okay, so we're going to go 14.
Yeah.
14 for West Ham. The very last team, that is of course Wolverhampton Wanderers. Great name, isn't it? Wolverhampton Wanderers. They also pay in orange, which is quite cool. Wolves pretty much ran away with the championship last season. They just absolutely tore it a new b-hole. And they've signed a hell of a lot of players as well. Whether that is going to be a good thing or a bad thing, we'll soon find out. They got what I can only assume is a relatively good manager as well. So for me, I think Wolves are going to finish mid-table. Not entirely sure if I've said 13th or 12th yet, but I think that's where they're going to be. Decent atmosphere at the Molineux as well. In case you're wondering, on a side note, we did leave Cardiff out, but I think they're going to finish bottom anyway. I mean, Neil Warnock, what more do you need to know about? Lastly for you, Wolves. I don't know why.
I've just been his, think of numbers.
I don't know why I said we'd do this alternate, or you go first, because I pretty much led the way on all of them. So,
I don't know what's that.
But some have differed.
I don't know what numbers are.
You've pretty much taken all of the top 7. I think you said 8.
Well, I think they're going to be in the middle or something like that.
I don't think you said 10th, yeah. Have you?
Maybe be 10th as well.
10th, just like, you can't see it. Seymour, yes! You almost saw my bum crack on YouTube.
You know what?
So guys, that wraps up our Premier League predictions. As of finishing this recording now, we have got just over an hour till the Premier League season kicks off. It's going to be a humdinger. You know it's going to be fantastic. I'm hoping the Palace are going to give us a roller coaster. What I'd give for just a mid-table finish with a little cup run, boring season. But yeah, that's our predictions. I'll put the tables up in just a second on the outro. And again, if we have had any teams in the same places, or we've missed out a position, or even a team for that matter, like Cardiff, but then again they're from Wales, so who really cares? Then I'll sort it out and I'll put them up for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed Tracy being in the video. No football knowledge at all.
Don't kill me.
We're going to come back. Spurs fans, leave her alone, alright? I will post a video next year at the end of the season, and then we'll compare where those teams have finished. That is a promise. I'll make sure that video happens. But we've got a long time to wait, a lot of football to be played by then, and we will see where teams finish, who's going down, who's staying up, who's going to have a great season and win the league, who's going to be mid-table, it's going to be mediocre. I hope that's Palace, fingers crossed. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, until next time, I will see you soon. Bye.